spoke about money coming into the UK. What about money going out of the UK into markets like Dubai? How are you seeing appetite for that right now?
Yeah, a huge amount of money going to Dubai. I don't really understand the Dubai market well enough. I'm a London expert. We're called London House, so I can't talk about the London market, the Dubai market with extensive knowledge. But it is unbelievable what's happening in Dubai, and I guess it's and even places like Saudi at the moment, the amount of money that's been putting into those regions is to grow those markets is incredibly impressive, and I'd love to actually go out to the Middle East and see what's going on.
Well, you have the invite. I'll get you from the airport.
You should tell me more. You can tell me what's going on there, right?
I mean,
what do you see?
About 50% of, almost 50%, someone will correct me if I'm wrong, of all sales is off-plan sales, right? And in general, we're seeing the off-plan sales kind of cool off now because there's brokerages that are exclusively running on purely off-plan sales, and they're having cash flow issues, right? So if you are not diversified in your portfolio and you're completely sales driven and not having any sort of property management element to your business, it's a harder piece to kind of manage, because Dubai market is very interesting in the sense that you had this massive spike.
It's volatile, right?
Yeah, because of the way that the demand has developed, right? So at one point it was like, oh, we have too much excess supply, whatever. 2020, COVID happened, government dealt with it better than pretty much any government in the world. We were vaccinated before everyone. We were out of lockdown outside of 1 month, because the economy needed to sort of survive. To really tourism was our business, and you can't say that the country is shut when tourism is your business. Diversified from oil, etc. And so since COVID, you've kind of seen, and since a lot of geopolitical instability, globally speaking, all of the markets that are affected by those instabilities are basically flocking to Dubai. At least the rich from those markets are able to park their money into Dubai now and buy sort of ultra luxury homes, which above 10 million, for instance. You're seeing Dubai have a higher volume than New York, double New York.
I get that,
right?
But I also think, and this isn't me talking down the Dubai market, because I think most of our purchasers are international buyers anyway, some way along the way, and have homes in multiple countries. But I think ultimately, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because I've not been to Dubai, but I think what people find with Dubai is it's amazing. You get huge space, there's a lot of things going on, the growth there is exciting to be at, there's a real buzz there. But I think ultimately, people love London for the history and the culture here and the diversity. The diversity in London is unbelievable. So I think that people, even though they're purchasing in Dubai, will always want to have a foothold in the London market.
Oh, 100%. If you're wealthy, yes. You have something in every market almost that matters, right? I think in Dubai, let's say the average buyer, your normal middle class family that's coming out to the country, to the UAE, they're gonna buy a space there, and it's it's a startup city, a startup country, right? In 50 years, a little bit north of that, and the progress has been insane. So maybe in 300 years, we will have the history and the heritage that London does, kind of a thing, and the culture, and amplified in that sort of manner. But that said, it's for the hustlers, the rebels, the misfits.
Well, I'm interested to find out, because I hear, I'm interested actually in the culture of agency in Dubai. And I hear some very strange, there's some real cowboys there, right? There's some real cowboys there.
There's a lot of cowboys.
I mean, look, there are here, in every industry, but you hear that, don't you? And I'm wondering if there will be a cultural shift in agency there. Do you think there will be?
Oh, so I think that fundamentally the Dubai Land Department and a plethora of others that are on the regulatory side of things hated that reputation. They don't want this cowboy reputation, right? And which is why it went from almost no regulation about 10, 15 years ago to now a very robust regulation sort of space. And all to an extent where we have something called REIS, which is the real estate evolution space. It's kind of like a technology hub for the government, the brokerages and the property technology companies coming together under one roof. And they're like, exchange ideas, talk to each other, right? And that degree of collaboration is usually impossible because you don't sit down with the land registry and like, let's say Invisible Homes or something like that and London House in the same room, along with a DDRE, Beecham, and like, 10 others. Like, it doesn't happen anywhere else. So the question is, can we increase the velocity of that to an extent where it blows up, increases the size of the market significantly or not?
Yeah.
But that's kind of
where
we're at. Yeah. I hope I'm selling this to you well enough.
No, I find it really interesting because I think the cultures of the agencies is interesting. I am going to talk about the Buying London show that we did because I think that it's always been a real big challenge for us when we were doing the show. I automatically said no to it at the beginning, and said because I'd already sort of filmed previously for another property show because I was interested in it. But I think the challenge for us in the London market is no one likes to show off in London. So to be able to get as many properties as we could on the show and show the industry how it actually works and all the transactions, and it's very complex the way that we all work here, was so difficult, as opposed to sort of America. In America, everyone's sort of just outwardly talking
drone
about
shots,
what's going on.
like,
Drone shots, big.
Yeah.
Here it's like kind of almost frowned upon if you display wealth or if you and even the way that agents talk to each other, or the reaction to the show, you see how people are. Oh, we don't talk about property like that. We don't. Agency's not like that, and it's quite interesting that how other cultures and other industries influence. Right, America influences England. Yeah. England. I don't know if England influences.
We've got a mix of everything, to be honest. We've like a lot of agents in Dubai are British, right? And we also have a lot of that American culture in terms of the brokerage model kind of being.
What do you feel works best? I mean, what in your view works well in Dubai?
This is my podcast. Just you were so.
Where do you sit? Where do you sit with that? How do you feel? What do you think the market demands from a consumer in Dubai?
The market demands from a consumer.
As in a buyer, as in sellers.
What are they looking for?
What are they
from
looking
a
for?
brokerage?
For a service.
I think they're looking for only one person to deal with. To be honest, they get bombarded with cold calls and things like that, even though they're not allowed to. And I think they want, a completely end-to-end sort of service where everything till the key is done, because they're extremely busy people. They're some of the hardest working people on the planet, I would say, in the white collar space. Like, you have a crazy amount of finance volume there, and across categories, basically. Like, they work a lot of, there's a study on this that people in the UAE work a lot longer hours than almost most other markets. So they want a completely end-to-end service. They don't want to worry about, especially if they're paying the price. They want the most amount of reach and influence on their sort of like whatever they're putting out there, so that they can get a deal done as fast as possible. And they want to move on and buy the next thing and park their money elsewhere. And so that's kind of what they're looking at.
Because it's interesting because I think you've said a few things that are obviously transferable here. I think most importantly, and going back to what I wanted to do with the industry when we first started, is what I wanted to do was give a full service and end to end. And I think we just did it naturally.